Hi, how y'all doing? My name's Rudy Anderson, and I have a unique ability. I can actually say all 50 states in alphabetical order. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida. I'm not going to do all 50 states right now, but there's a reason I actually remember all 50 states, because I learned them when I was in elementary school, which was quite a few years ago. Okay, decades. I didn't want to give it all away. But I still remember because my teacher made it fun for us to learn. And if you make it fun, people have a better capacity to retain the knowledge that you're trying to teach them. So if it's fun, they have a better chance. I remember that, and it's been forever. It's just like the alphabet. I bet you there's not any of us, none of us, that can say the alphabet without actually singing it. Because we learned to sing it because that was fun, and that's how we learned it. And we still sing it all through our lives. But we've all had that one teacher or that one person that touched us. And they did it through humor. Humor is very important in speech. If you can give a speech and communicate effectively, and humor helps keep the audience involved, it gets them involved, it keeps them wanting to know what you're going to say next. It aids in their retention, as there's been studies about how laughter releases certain or antitoxins in the body that actually help you retain and pay attention and retain information much better. It creates a great connector between the audience and the speaker. If you can make the audience laugh, they're going to feel that you have confidence to know what you're speaking about, and they're going to follow along because they think what you're saying is interesting. You sort of have them. You have to grab them. You have 10 seconds to grab somebody when you start a speech. And if you grab them and have some laughter throughout, it's just going to build on that. The speaker comes off feeling more confident if you're able to make them laugh. And the audience has more confidence in the speaker themselves, knowing that they know what they are going to be talking about. And if you can throw in some stories and stuff in there, it just like the 50 Nifty United States. That's a song I learned in elementary school a long, long, long time ago. If it wasn't for a great teacher being humorous, I wouldn't have learned it. There's different types of humor you can use when you're giving different types of briefs. It depends on the audience you're talking to, diversity of the people you are speaking with, and the level of professionalism of what you're speaking about. I mean, you can make anything a little light, add a little humor to anything. You can sort of mess around with some definitions, change definitions. Like when I was in the Army, a POV was a privately owned vehicle. Or to a teacher, it's people of Venice. You just never know. You can play around and get people's attention, sort of catch them off guard with little tricks like that. You can do comparisons between apples and oranges or things that don't really go, or comparing to something the audience is more actually familiar with. But throwing humor definitely does help. You can get testimonials that are comical and you can play off of. That's good too. Personal stories I found have always been the best. Personal, professional stories that involve yourself. Sort of poke humor at yourself, but not too bad. Um, yeah, I live in a zoo. Sorry about that. There's quite a few of them. Um, when I was in the military, I had to go in front of a promotion board. And one thing everybody always gets nervous about is public speaking or speaking in front of people, especially for something important and something you know you want. I went in front of the promotion board, and it's all these sergeant majors, and I'm a little E4 scared. It's my first one. Didn't quite know what to expect, but still knew it could make or break me. Put a little more into it than I should have. And I had everything memorized, had everything good to go. And I get there, and the very first question they asked me was, who was the commander in chief? I said the wrong president. Easiest question in the world, but something as simple as that can mess you up. But it's little stories like that that can also help move it along and add some humor. I mean, most people know who the president is, but when you're nervous, you tend to forget and it throws you off guard. But it wound up putting everybody at ease, because they all laughed, looked at me, and said, "Take a deep breath, relax. Now think about it for a second. Who's the commander in chief?" So I said the right president. And it went great from there on because that sort of put everybody at ease at that point in time. You can use humor. The best way to use humor in any speech is to set up your main points that you wanted to make. If you can throw a story or something or accentuate the main points that you want to make in a speech, humor is actually a good way to connect and keep the audience being attentive and paying attention with you and keeping up with you. Um, if you don't have good personal stories, use the same topic that you're talking about. We've all heard thousands of jokes, lawyer jokes, doctor jokes. There's a joke for every profession and just about every topic under the sun. You can come up with some good, clean humor. If you don't have a good story, you can come up with some good jokes, but just sort of make sure it's relevant. And the biggest thing is to know your audience. You have to know who you are speaking with and the type of humor you have to use with them. And when I was in the military, I was stationed in Germany and met my husband, and we wound up eloping and basically going down to the courthouse here, but we did it in Germany. So we go down to the courthouse, and he's like, "I have to post this in the window in public for 2 weeks. If anybody objects, I can't marry you. But if nobody does, you get married on this day." So it was good. It turned out to be a Thursday, so we had a 4-day weekend. And my favorite flower is a white rose. And my husband special ordered them out of Amsterdam. Had a really hard time, but I didn't know this till after the fact. And so we're walking in with our friends into the courthouse. And all the Germans are looking at us funny, and they're sort of laughing and pointing at us, and we're standing out like a sore thumb. And we're dressed like everybody else, and I'm like, "What's going on?" So we find out after the ceremony that in Germany they only use white roses for funerals. And there I am getting married with a big bouquet of white roses. So know your audience. It's a very, very, very big deal. You always, always, always have to know your audience. Set it up and use comedy to deliver and get your main points across. It makes your key points memorable if they have something to remember them by. We've all heard a joke before, and we've all remembered the joke just after hearing it once. If you can do that with your main points and throw a joke or a story in there that's relevant and can make it funny, the audience will be on your side. They'll be intrigued. They want to know what's going to happen next, and it'll all flow very well for you. Um, and if you have nothing else, always ask questions, get questions from the audience, and feel how you feel comfortable. It's all about being humor, getting the points across, and reiterating everything. Just imagine if you had the ability to make everybody in the room listen and pay attention to everything you are saying. Humor can add to that. It's proven facts that people learn after laughing and are relaxed. It's better than a humdrum professor. We've all had those, the monotone voices that don't last. No, we get something from the classes that we participate in and we feel part of. Laughter and participation from the audience helps with that. So if everyone can learn to communicate effectively and use laughter, life would be a much better place. Enjoy. You all have a great day. Thank you so much for coming.